Good evening, Sooner Nation. Welcome to the Sooner Surge. Bobby's dropping some info here. I'm just going to be honest, guys. Commitment. Does it matter, Jay?
No. I don't know.
I'm laughing. I got the giggles tonight. You know why? Because Texas is the overall number 1 seed. And guess what, guys? I think Monty said it. Extra motivation. I don't know that the team needs any extra motivation. To me, 4 in a row would be motivation enough. But it is, I think it ends up boding pretty well for the Sooners to stay away from Kennedy. Jackson says, great weekend for OU athletics. That's right. Remains to be seen how effectively we will use our tight ends. Look, I don't know how effective they will be. I would bet my entire life savings, which isn't much, by the way, that it's going to be a lot better when Austin Stogner was there. But does that even matter how they're going to be used as far as these recruits, Bobby? What are your thoughts? Because I don't think it necessarily matters how they're going to be used necessarily. Money is the driving factor for a lot of these, I think, because you can go across the board. I don't see a lot of teams just – I mean, who would you say uses the tight ends better than anyone? Michigan, in my opinion, does, and they're not pulling the number 1 tight ends every time. Jay will be on here in a minute. Is Jonah Williams still in play? Listen, I'm not the guy to be asking recruiting stuff to. I promise you that. And by the way, Craig, Atlanta with the number 1 pick. That was shocking. But I think Jonah Williams is going to be playing baseball more so. Jackson does say that Jonah Williams still is in play. I think anyone's in play until they sign. You know, you guys know my opinion on it. Anyone until they sign. And Craig, I think you're right. George is another one I forgot to put up there. But Michigan for sure has tight ends every year. Hunter says that Jonah Williams will play both sports. Yes, agreed. But if he's a top 5 Major League Baseball draft pick, is he going to go play college football? Hunter?
What would you do if it was? I mean, say it was your son. Where's the better sport to go play? In your opinion, better
baseball.
Chance.
Baseball.
Why? Money.
And look, I don't know all the ins and outs of contracts, but I think the Players Association in baseball is really good. I mean, Skeens is already in the major leagues right now. By the way, how did he do? He had his first outing, right?
7 strikeouts, went like 3 or 4 innings, allowed 3 runs.
I mean, if you can play, you're going to be playing early. You're not going to be sitting in the minor leagues very much.
Jeremy, he consistently throws the ball over 100 miles an hour.
I know he does, Jay. Jonah Williams is an elite baseball player.
No, I'm not saying he's not. I mean, I'm not saying that at all.
I mean, Kyler Murray decided to go with football, and it's worked out well. He's had some injuries. Where would he have been in baseball, though?
Don't know. I mean,
we won't know.
Do
you think he regrets it at all, Jay?
I do think that baseball players nowadays are getting to the big leagues sooner than they used to. I don't think they're having to go through as much. But then you see a guy like Jackson Holliday. I mean, he got called up very quickly, and man, he had a bad outing up in major leagues. They already sent him back down. He'll get it together, but it's just like, who knows, man? Who knows? Hunter says harder to get to big leagues in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oakland wouldn't have been a good thing.
Oakland would not have been a great team to be a part of, correct. The Sooner women, Jay, softball, I think have a pretty good draw if they continue to move and play the way they are. Think things set up well for them. You do have to be aware of Boston University, though.
Boston's hot right now. Oregon's a pretty good team. I think Boston will beat Oregon. But OU is going to get out of the regional, and then they're going to play Florida State, I imagine, in the super regional, which will be a great test. Bobby says, Sooner fan, he's going to Oregon, cornerback starting to come in, and he's just in love with their system. Crystal Ball starting to come in. Who are you talking about? I was off for a minute.
Jonah Williams, probably. My guess is Jonah Williams.
Mike's asking in the Discord right now, question. But by the way, if you're not in the Discord,
what about Discord?
Mike's asking in the Discord a question about Lamont Rogers. Would he be a good get? Yeah, I think Lamont Rogers would be. But you know, I think if you look at offensive line, I think it was Bobby the other day says he thinks they're going to get a surprise offensive line. With you got Foji, Foji's going to keep climbing the ranks. I think Foji's going to be really a lot higher up come next year. Now the other guys, Fasusi, Haywood. I mean, I mean the guys that were the guy that was mentioned the other day as well. I mean, Jackson. Jackson. Thanks. There it is. Needs one of Rogers, Lamont Rogers, which is who Mike was asking about, Fasusi, Babaloa, or Haywood.
You got to get one of those.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hey, let me say something. What I saw on Twitter the other day it was, I think, originally tweeted by Todd Bates. It was about Jacob Sexton. I don't know if you saw this.
I did not.
But basically how he's just a dude as far as his recovery from his injury last year, how his hard work ethic, how he just never whined about anything. He just went right to work to get it better. Basically, he said just one of the greats on the team, the way he's handled it and came back, and Venables retweeted it. And then I thought it was really interesting and just proves how good of a coaching staff this is. I mean, especially relational-wise. I believe it was Jacob Sexton's dad, Philip, that tweeted out in the comments about how Todd Bates, not even the position coach for Jacob Sexton, has pushed and pushed and pushed him and basically helped develop him, even though he's not an offensive line coach. You know what I mean? I think that just shows you how great of Todd Bates can just motivator, developer of young men. I think just outstanding. And
where's he playing?
We all know what he can do on the defensive line.
I think Sexton can play guard and tackle. I hope he's at tackle.
And Bobby says Haywood going to A&M if you believe the experts. I would love to see the experts' percentages overall. That's what I would love for somebody to do. I think I may do that, Jeremy. I'm going to do it.
Experts don't put percentages, Jay.
I'm going to do a deep dive and do a research on three different insiders. I want to see percentage wise.
They don't put percentages.
Yeah, there it is right there. Most haven't posted, Jeremy. So
shows you how much I'm on those sites, Jay.
Eric says, "What's up, Eric? Hope you're doing good tonight." We had a long discussion last night on Discord. Mentioned Discord a few times, guys. If you're not signed up, go to link in the description, get signed up for it. You want to be a part of it. Eric says, so we have culture, but guys put guys in the league consistently, and we're still losing guys to A&M. Here's what I'll say about losing guys to A&M, though. What guy, and this is a great question for the people in here, because I know you guys follow college football big time, and you will have answers to this. Give me three guys that went to A&M that could have went to OU that's now in the NFL tearing it up and tore it up in college football. Go. I'll wait.
You can't, but that's not what Eric's saying.
No. I'm asking the question. I'd like to know. I mean, because they've lost a lot to A&M.
A&M and Missouri are pulling guys, and I still think it's mainly a money issue.
Too early to say, Hunter. What do you mean? Maybe from last year, the year before, but they've been losing guys to A&M more than 2 years. Right?
Yeah. My eyes twitching, man.
Yeah, Grey God, that's wild. I think that's going to get better with some of these teams, but I do think early on some of these teams offered and promised guys stuff that they didn't have. They didn't have it.
And again, I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to like. I'm not a recruiting guru, expert, even average. Okay.
No, you're not.
I'm below mid, but I will say this: when you get caught up and you follow all the nuances and the ins and outs of where these guys are going and visiting and this, and they're eating at the Texas Roadhouse, and this guy was at Cheddar's with this one guy, and you notice things when OU lose a guy. In my opinion, I mean, there's a handful you could say, yeah, OU lost one to Missouri and A&M, and a handful. But then people don't talk about the guys they've gotten as well, where maybe there is 4 or 5 schools in the mix.
Peyton Bowen?
Yeah, did people talk about Peyton Bowen?
I mean, that's just one example. Why did Walter Nolan leave? Yeah, I mean, he's at Ole Miss now. He transferred out, right? So there's a guy that you know who I'm really interested to see develop at A&M.
Who's that?
I mean, we always talk about David Hicks, but McKinley.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. We will see what he does. It's just with social media, things like, I mean, you can pretty much follow someone all the way to where he goes. To me, it's just it's a never ending. It's a discouraging thing, honestly.
Yeah, but that's your opinion, dude. I mean,
I agree. It's my opinion, Jay. It's discouraging to follow all that.
There's a lot of people that love the chase of that and following that all the time.
Absolutely, there are, Jay.
Go look at the message boards. I mean, all the insiders.
I agree.
People that pay to go to their site and see recruiting stuff. So
yes, go for it. Do it. I won't be on there.
Now, Bobby, listen. Terry Busty to me will be a stud. Now, I think that was a long shot to get him anyway. I just think he's Texas guy, and you know another guy people don't talk about, Kyler Murray. I believe OU got him from A&M, did they not?
Yeah, Monty, you're talking about David Hicks. He didn't do much his freshman year, but he's going to be good. He stayed around at A&M. He's still.
I know a guy that saw Busty play in person, said best player he's ever seen in his lifetime. This guy's about 33 years old. Said he's never seen a better player ever.
Oh, I think he's scary good, as Greg God says, and Jimmy says. Hey, Bobby,
that's
Bobby. Bobby, I agree with you 100%. Recruiting is the heartbeat of any program. You got to have it. It's not the heartbeat of any fan. Now, it may be the heartbeat of some fans. It doesn't make my heart tick any faster, slower. I'm excited when OU lands guys, but I don't follow it enough.
You don't follow it enough, but when they get the big guys, your heart's racing a little bit.
Oh, I love it. I love it when they get them. But I'm saying the pursuit and all that, I just don't get behind because I don't have enough time for it.
Yeah, I mean, it does take time, and it's a lot of time to follow it. Now, Eric, you are right about this. You're right about maybe the competition, but you could say that with a lot of players in high school. It doesn't matter. Go look at his measurables. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And what he did, I don't care who it's against. You can just see it on the field. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I just think he's going to be a really, really good player.
If there is one guy I would have liked to have gotten in that class, it was him.
Yeah, I know you're not doubting his talent. I'm just saying a lot of times I think the general perspective nationally from a lot of guys is, yeah, these guys are playing small school. Look at basketball, Dayton Forsyth. Then you go watch him against AAU, against tough competition. He tears it up, just like Greg God says when Busty goes to camps, tears it up. Same could be said about Danny Okoye, which we have not talked about Danny Okoye much in the offseason. But
no one's talked about
homeschool Noah, and he did the same thing against weak competition, you could say. But then at the camps, he was just unbelievable against top-tier talent. So I don't know if enough's been talked about with Danny Okoye.
Hey, I love the anadiplosis that has been used by the Sooners.
What?
The anadiplosis. If we put those two together here, money is the heartbeat of recruiting. Recruiting is the heartbeat of a program. Anadiplosis. Look it up, Jay.
Let me ask you this. and I think the answer now is different than it was maybe before, but without money, you can't win in college football. You agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to have money. Yeah, BV does have to do that. Jeremy doesn't. Jeremy does not have to do that, fortunately, but BV does for sure. Yes. And look, money has always been in college football. The way it is now, it's a different animal, though.
It's open game and it's legal. I mean,
and it's different. It's exaggerated a lot more than it used to be. It's way more prevalent than it used to be.
Can you imagine Boone Pickens right now if he was still?
Oh, if Boone Pickens was still, OSU would be a top 5 program. Year in, year out.
I don't think top 5.
They would.
No, I think they'd win the Big 12 right now every year. They'd be the favorite. They would not be a top 5 program.
Okay.
Stillwater, Oklahoma, top 5 program.
Money.
Stillwater, Oklahoma, top 5.
Money.
So what you're telling me, what you're saying is money is the only thing that matters, is what you just said.
No.
Yeah, you just said it. You said they're a top 5 program at Boone Pickens. So what you're saying is money's the only issue. Keeping them from a top 5 program.
Jay, if Boone Pickens was here, they may be number 1 money. They may be a number 1 program money-wise.
Jeremy, but you said if Boone Pickens is going to be a top 5 program.
Money-wise, yes.
No, you said don't change it now. You said money. You didn't say money-wise. You said they'd be a top 5.
I said they'd be a top 5 pro. We're talking about money, donations, how much money you got. I didn't say winning football games top 5.
Oh, that's what you meant. Don't backtrack.
No, it is. I'm talking about they'd have the largest donor in the history of college sports.
I agree. He would donate.
Number 1, probably.
Jeremy, I'm not saying that. You still
now would that translate? Would that translate? You're the one that said they'd win the Big 12 every year, which means they'd have to be pretty good, I guess.
I said they'd be a favorite to win the new Big 12. Yeah.
The new Big 12. I'm talking about the last 3 years. Jay, it's a fact. Boone Pickens, that team would have had tons. He may have been second behind Phil Knight, yes, but he would have easily been top 5. I'm not wrong.
Great guy. I do not know the answer to that. That's a great question. I don't think. I mean, you don't hear a lot about it. I don't know.
Jay, you like to try to get me act like I say things I don't say.
No,
Chuck,
you said they'd be a top 5 program.
Chuck, I am calm tonight. It's a good night.
Jeez.
It's a good night. It's a Sunday night. 7 days of school left.
Wait, you get out this week?
No, 7 days, Jay.
Oh, you get out.
Then I start my summer. Then I start my summer job. So yeah. What else is on there, Jay?
On what?
What's on the agenda, man? Anything else?
I mean, baseball, Big 12 champs, softball, Big 12 tournament.
Why is no one talking about baseball?
Well, I mean, I think right now, the way they're swinging the bats, it's the best hitting team they've had in a long time. And I think Hunter said it the other day, they're 1 pitcher away, man. 1 pitcher away from being really.
Got to show up. Yeah, Quick Trip needs to contribute to the Crimson Cream Collective.
Why? Does Buc-ee's contribute to those teams down in Alabama and stuff?
I don't follow Buc-ee's, nor do I follow Bama, Jay. I would not know that answer.
Hey, we didn't talk about this yesterday. We got to talk about this. The guy that nobody wanted to come to OU in the transfer portal ended up going to Alabama. Vandermark, Michigan State O-lineman.
Yep.
So now, what do you think as a Sooner fan? I'd love people that's on here to put their comments, because a lot of the Sooner fans didn't think Vandermark was going to be a good transfer to get, and ends up at Alabama. So what are we saying? Are we saying that Alabama not a good get for them, or now because he's going to Alabama, are we thinking, man, he was pretty good now?
Did he play a lot more than Spencer Brown?
I'd have to look up the numbers, Jeremy.
I know you're not high on Spencer Brown. I know Eric is. I know a lot of people aren't high on Spencer Brown. And I don't know enough about if he's going to get on the field at OUJ. I thought he was early, but if Sexton moves over to tackle and Hatchett were to play guard, that other tackle, I think it's Jake Taylor or Tarquin.
Hunter says 18 total starts. Bobby says the first go around I wanted him, but as we added a piece, he just wasn't a need for us. Better of the two, Eric. I would agree with that. I think
8 starts.
8 starts. Okay.
8.
Yeah, 8 starts. I just think it was interesting. He ended up at Alabama, and I said it before. I'm not sold on Kalen DeBoer, Jeremy. I know
I'm not going to argue with you. I think Kalen DeBoer was maybe the best coach they could have gotten.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Best coach. Coach. I didn't say recruiter.
I'm not going there tonight.
You don't want to, I promise you.
I promise you I'm not going there.
I have a summer job, Monty. I do have a summer job. They do split it up all year. You get some every year, but you got to still work in the summer. Most teachers do, especially in Oklahoma.
Bobby says, yeah, Sexton 100% playing tackle. Yeah. Eric, you disagree. And there's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me. I just think Kalen DeBoer is a good coach.
Eric and I agree.
I don't think he's Alabama good. I don't. I don't think recruiting-wise he's going to be able to get the guys there.
Oh, Alabama recruits by themselves.
To me, all it's going to take, him have a bad year or two, and then I think the recruiting will slow down there.
I think you'll be able to win there, Jay.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're right, Roscoe. Sooners balled out on that diamond this weekend, boys and girls.
Yep. Now the postseason begins for softball. Baseball has 3 more games left, I believe.
Yeah, Bobby, I think it's crazy. People are doubting DeBoer. Like there's no reason to doubt him coaching. Like,
I'm not comparing the two here, but I'm just going to ask a question. You can't always use the DeBoer or somebody as one wherever they've been. You can't always use that.
No. What you can until they've been proven wrong. Yes.
Well, I mean, Deion won at Jacksonville, wherever he's at. Did he not?
You're comparing Deion to Kalen DeBoer.
Well, I'm just saying he won. Where was he before Colorado? He won 2 or 3 years.
Washington was in the Pac-12 championship 2 years in a row. And won the second year.
I'm just saying, did he dominate? Did Deion dominate?
Yes, but Kalen DeBoer dominated at a lower level and then dominated at a higher level. So
I think Kalen DeBoer can coach. I'm not saying that. I just don't think Alabama is a great fit. Sorry.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Okay. I may be dead wrong. I've been dead wrong before plenty of times.
Chuck, when Jay and I fought, it was pretty one-sided. Jay would usually resort to pulling my hair. But then I'd get a burr cut and he couldn't do it. Had no chance.
We didn't really fight that much. We argued.
We didn't fight that much. You remember the tag team fight?
Like physical fight.
We did tag team a neighbor kid once.
Oh, every time, dude. Gosh. Yeah, it's a tough situation. It is. Here's a great comparison.
I would love to have that if possible.
I got the perfect comparison for what's getting ready to happen in Alabama. You want to hear it?
Bring it, Jay.
Mark it down on May, what is today? May what?
Today is May 13th, Jay. 12th, May 12th.
May 12th. Mark it down. I said this. This is a great comparison, in my opinion, of Kalen DeBoer. Gary Gibbs.
Maybe.
You had Switzer dominating. Then you have Gibbs of the mid-90s. Good coach. They won a lot of games. Couldn't get over the hump. That's Alabama.
The difference is Kalen DeBoer got over the hump at Washington.
No, I'm saying at Alabama, Jeremy. I'm not talking about.
I'm saying you could be right on that, but I'm just saying at Alabama, at Washington, he did win.
He did. I'm not doubting that. I just said Alabama the fit. I don't know about the fit of it there.
I wish he was still there at Washington.
Why? Because Oregon?
They could destroy Dan Lanning and company.
Dan Lanning's about to. Their Oregon's going to be good.
He owns Dan Lanning.
Oregon's going to be good. They're going to be a
owns
problem.
Dan Lanning. DeBoer owns Lanning, Jay. Facts.
How many times have they played, Jeremy?
3 or 4. He's won them all.
Twice, right?
No, Lanning's been there a couple years, Jay.
I don't know. Did they play the year before that? I'd have to look.
Yes, surely they did.
Hey, there's no doubt. Listen, guys. I'm not doubting that he's not a good coach. I'm not saying that. I just think sometimes the coaches that you have on certain teams, they just don't fit well. And I just think it's a different animal in the SEC. It's not the Pac-12. It's not the Pac-12.
He's 3-0 against Lanning, and everyone loves Lanning. But I'm going to say this. Greg God, I disagree. I think there are way too many people who are sitting here saying Oregon's just going to go steamroll the Big Ten. No, they're not. Let me tell you why they're not. There's defense, high-level defense in the Big Ten. That's the first reason. Okay? Second reason, Oregon is not used to going to Wisconsin, cooler weather places. I promise you it's going to be different. It's not the same thing.
My pick for the Big Ten is Ohio State right now.
Mine too, even with the quarterback new.
Yeah.
A Pac-12 team is not stepping in the Big Ten and winning the ship this year. Promise you.
You can't
I
promise.
said it here first. Not happening.
Can't promise.
I promise you. That's what I mean. I promise you, Jay. It's not happening. I'd have to look at their schedule, but if they have a cold weather environment and the crowds in the Big Ten aren't even close to what they are in the Pac-12.
Yeah, and Greg God, I think
it's a different animal.
That's the only holdup right now with Ohio State, in my opinion. And that's why I'm not picking them to win a national championship. I don't think they have the quarterback to do it.
And I agree, Eric, there are a lot of incompetent offenses, but there are a lot of really good defenses that will give Oregon issues, I think.
Let me ask you this. What's the holdup on
Pull up Oregon's schedule.
What's the holdup to Oregon on you? Is it coaching or is it Gabriel?
I'm not sold on Lanning, and I know I'm not sold on Gabriel. So it's both. What's Oregon done?
I mean, they were pretty good last year, dude.
They were pretty good. So was OU. They're about the same.
What I think is funny is you say,
they lost their quarterback, Jay. Bo Nix is better than Gabriel.
What I think is funny is you say, what has he done in 2 years at Oregon? I mean, you could say the same thing on Venables, could you not?
I have said the same
and thing. You're picking OU 10-2 in this conference. I mean, so.
Yeah, they got a 5-star quarterback, Jason. Gabriel was 2 or 3-star, okay? Bo Nix was a 4 or 5-star. That's a fact.
I'm not talking about Oregon's offense. What I'm saying is I think defensively they're going to take a big step this year. That's just my opinion. I think they're going to fit right in the Big Ten with their defense.
Okay, they may, Jay. And Eric, I didn't say Oregon and Washington crowds. Oregon and Washington crowds are phenomenal. They're better, yes. I'm talking about the Big Ten crowds, the road games that they go play in outside of Oregon and Washington. Corvallis, I guess. Corvallis has a good crowd when they play Oregon, but
he's on the bench, though, Bobby.
He won't be for long, Jay.
At least starting on the bench.
Hey, I'll never believe. Maybe they win it. They might win. They might win.
Hey, if there's one stadium I would not want to go play in, it's in Washington because they are loud over there.
Dalpo says, I'll never forget OU players not letting Washington out of their own tunnel. Then they destroyed Washington on their home turf.
Did you see Brock Huard's son transferring to Utah, I think?
I did not.
From Washington. Hey, I'm interested with Washington with Jedd Fisch, man. You speak of it, not a good fit. I don't think it's a good
snake.
Fit.
Snake. He's a snake.
Snake?
Yes. Absolute snake. I am really excited about Jackson Arnold, though.
Well, we know you are, Jeremy. I mean, I think most people are.
I mean, if you're going to say we've had this debate, discussion, conversation before. OU is not just better at every position than last year. They are way better at every position than last year. And that is a fact. I'm saying fact a lot tonight, Jay. Fact or crap? Fact, okay? Let's play that game tomorrow night. Monday night, fact or crap?
Be a lot of crap. That's probably.
I've got a lot of questions I'll ask, and everyone in the conversation can say fact or crap.
Fact or fiction. I mean, Jeremy, that would work too.
Yeah, but I like fact or crap better.
Chuck says you can't say just because DG isn't a 5-star makes him a less of a quarterback with all of his experience.
I can. His experience is the biggest thing he's got going for him.
Sorry, that's Hewitt transfer from Cal Poly to Utah. I think what I saw was that people were thinking he was going to go in up at Washington as a backup or something. And he said, I saw his dad on Twitter say, well, hold your horses. Don't know where you're getting that information. But thank you for the clarification, Gary.
Hey, I know the Thunder play tomorrow at 8:30. If I'm on here by myself or if Jay's on, that we will be going live tomorrow night. I'll do some fact or crap on here. I can't watch the NBA, the flop, the I'll be keeping in tune, but I don't have to be eyeball everything on that game. It's frustrating to me. He's played like 10 years, Bobby. The guy's been in the league longer than Rafe LaFrance and Scott Pollard played for Kansas.
You forgot the other guy. What's his name? The balding guy? Perry Ellis, maybe?
Yes. What do you mean I can, but you will be wrong?
Hey,
we don't know that.
I do, Cracker Mac, I do think a lot of it does right on that. Eric's got a good question here. When we look at Missouri and Ole Miss from the outside, does anyone think that's a great team?
Not from the outside.
Ole Miss is pretty talented. I just think I'm not sold on Jackson Dart, dude. I'm just not.
No. Well, you can't be not sold on Jackson Dart and sold on DG, in my opinion. The Thunder, they do have to win tomorrow. They got to get that win.
Yeah, Greg, I'm too pressed to talk about it, too. They got to get the win, period. Denver tied that thing up with Minnesota 2-2. Denver's coming out of that. I don't think Minnesota's – Denver's got too many veterans, man.
They let Anthony Edwards go off and they shut down Towns. That's what Thunder have to do. Let one of them go.
Good theory. Maybe let Luka and Kyrie go off and shut everyone else down.
Jay, the Thunder need to put Dort on Kyrie, not Doncic.
Kenneth says people like Josh Payton, the voice of college football, Mark Rogers, said that DG is extremely good quarterback. So what are you talking about? That's a bit of haterism. Hey, here's what I'll say. Let me say my opinion first, and then Jeremy.
The voice of college football, Mark Rogers?
I think Dylan Gabriel is a really, really good football player. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is an elite quarterback. I think he's a really, really good quarterback. He's not elite. I think anybody that said he's elite, then they got their definitions of elite wrong. I think Dylan Gabriel's really good. I don't think he's elite. Fair?
Correct.
You don't think he's very good, right, Jeremy?
Dort can absolutely guard Kyrie Irving. Please.
I would take Dort off of Luka.
Yeah, put him on Kyrie. He can shut Kyrie down.
Dort hasn't had a good series.
Dort is the best defender in the league. That's a fact.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure. Who would be above?
What I'm saying is him guarding Luka. It's kind of. I feel like it's
Kawhi, maybe. What do you mean? OMG, Jay. Who did the Thunder play in the first round?
What?
Who did the Thunder beat in the first round?
Pelicans. What?
He shut Brandon Ingram down like it was nothing.
Wait, I know
Ingram's not Kyrie.
Dort's a great defender. Nobody.
Dort has shut down James Harden in the past. Steph Curry. He can guard anyone.
You're not shutting those guys down. You can hold them to lower score. You're not shutting them down.
They need to put him on Kyrie. Hey, I might eat some Dylan Gabriel crow pie this year.
You'll have to if he does a good year.
I think Dylan Gabriel's a great dude. He's a great game manager, as Dalpoa says. I don't want him as a starting quarterback in Oklahoma. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
I definitely don't think Brandon Ingram's in the same class as Kyrie. I think Kyrie and James Harden are both, not now James Harden, but when Dort shut down Harden in the bubble, okay, I think James Harden at that point was probably the best offensive player in the league at the time. Dort shut him down, so he can hang with Kyrie Irving.
Hey, somebody talking about game manager. Listen, game manager's fine if your defense is elite. But if your defense isn't elite, you can't win with the game manager.
That's true.
Jay, but because of his experience, it puts him above Jackson Arnold. Hey, Chuck, I'm on your side on this. I've said that about Jackson Arnold. With his inexperience, that's the one thing I'm questioning right now going into the season. He's got to learn. He's got to play in games. He didn't get to play in any games last year, but 1, 2. I agree with that comment.
Hey, I know. I grew up. I listen to Sports Animal. Mark Rogers is the high school guru. I know who Mark Rogers is, if that's who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I thought you were. He must not be talking about Mark Rogers from the Sports Animal. I know who Josh Pate are. Anyone can have opinions, though, is what I'm saying. I mean,
I don't know the Mark Rogers from Sportsman. He didn't work for ESPN, so it's a different Mark Rogers he's talking about.
Okay, I was talking about.
Yeah, Jackson. Definitely. Not even close. Way higher ceiling.
Yeah. NBA draft class is weak, but hey, we go all night here. Listen, tomorrow night, 9:30, probably about end of the first quarter in the Thunder game. We'll be on here to talk whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what we do at the Sooner Surge. It is softball postseason this week. OU versus Cleveland State. Friday, 7 Eastern. 8 Eastern, I believe, at Love's Field. We will catch you on the flip side tomorrow. Jordan 1, Kareem or someone else 2. It's Kobe 2, Kareem 3, Worthy 4.
Worthy?
Michael Cooper 5.
Wow.
Kurt Rambis 6. And then the 7th Laker, LeBron. We're out. We'll see you tomorrow. Boomer.